La libertad es el concepto que ha inspirado lo mejor en las más grandes civilizaciones y se ha convertido en el pilar de las naciones. Siendo que la idea de la libertad es tan amplia, es común pensar que sea difícil que un solo ser humano la posea. Pero es precisamente en la vida individual de las personas donde la libertad logra su propósito. Este tipo de libertad personal es lo que realmente importa. Libertad para actuar, libertad para relacionarse y libertad de ser y de transformarse. Por más de 15 años, For Life ha extendido un pasaporte a la libertad a miles de personas en más de 50 países en todo el mundo. Estas personas han logrado liberarse del temor financiero, han logrado la libertad de construir un negocio y definir su destino y la libertad de ofrecer un legado a su posteridad. Juntos, edificando vidas, es la historia de For Life que forma parte de la vida diaria de miles de familias en todo el mundo. Estas son solo algunas de esas historias.
I like to say that for me, every day above ground is a really good day.
We're Ray and Barbara from Winter Springs, Florida.
And we're from Winter Springs, but we're from the beach too, because we spend about half our time over there with the ocean as our backyard. You look out, the ocean's, its waves are crashing, it's great. I started my For Life business at the worst possible, lowest point in my life. I walked into my doctor's office. He looked me right in the eye when he was telling me what's wrong, and he said, it could be a year or two, could be a little longer, referring to how long I was going to live. I came home, I went into a major depression, and that's when I got the call about For Life research. I'd heard about network marketing before. I'd been up and down, love-hate relationship, kind of in and out. But there was something special about this company. It grabbed me, the product technology grabbed me. At the same time, I was just in a lot of prayer looking for answers, a way out of my terrible condition, because I had a lot of fear. And all I kept getting was take care of your family, be a good provider. Even if you die young, Ray, make sure you take care of this money thing for your family. I didn't want to pass away and have them struggle for the rest of their lives. So I was working with this clock going. I needed a liver transplant and I was running out of time. And I was building my business and it was growing very, very fast. But kind of the moment of truth came. I started to get really, really sick. And I went into the hospital, and I came out of the hospital, went into the hospital, kind of waiting to get on this liver transplant list. Finally, I got on the liver transplant list, went into the hospital, got a liver transplant, and then a lot of things went wrong. I was in and out of intensive care for 4 months, and it was a scary time, but the business was already built.
When my father went into the intensive care for his transplant, I was in high school, and I remember it being sort of like a surreal moment for me. I didn't understand everything that was happening. It was almost as if things like this don't happen to people like us.
I mean, that could have been a financial disaster for a lot of people. But for me, because of Ray's strength and perseverance and hard work, we had a life built already.
And I think there was like that sense of security, because my dad didn't have a regular job. He had built a For Life business, and that, I think, in the back of her mind, she knew it was going to be okay because of that.
My bills were being paid while he was in the hospital for 4 months. I had a place to stay by the hospital while he was recovering. That was only possible because of For Life, because of what Ray had built for our family with residual income.
And I remember them coming home after he got better, he got the liver transplant. And I remember them talking in the kitchen because they had just gone to the mailbox, and their check had actually gone up while they were in the hospital.
I mean, he hadn't worked for practically almost a year between the time of before the transplant and then during the time he was in the hospital.
I got out of the hospital a few days before Christmas in 2003, and I think it was March of '04, we were pinned the first Platinum International Diamonds with For Life.
We're constantly reminding each other of who we are. And you said we sell hope That touched me.
My friend Dave Daughtry says you can get paid for what you start. And we started and hit it hard and worked it hard. Because I understood the promise of this business is you work really hard for a few years and you can achieve freedom. To me, freedom was not having to work for somebody else, not having to work long hours, which is what I always had to do in the restaurant business and other jobs. Weekends, long hours away from my family. Now I do what I want. I work when I want. I work in my periods of strength.
And the other blessing is the time. Just being able to do whatever we want to do whenever I want to do it. And I have a strong desire to help single mothers and help them with their needs and their wants. And I do that on a regular basis.
Hi, Sylvia. Yes. This is Barbara calling from Esther, Single Mothers Outreach. How you doing today?
Non-for-profit organizations such as Esther are very thankful for our volunteers such as Barbara. We could not survive, we could not move to the next level if it wasn't for our faithful volunteers. And also for our partners, For Life being one of our biggest sponsors.
You don't fall on your face 100 times to not try again. You know, the whole reason everything happened in your past is to lead you to right now. Not to say, no, I'm not going to try again, but to say, yes, I'm going to try again. I had to try again at the worst time in my life. I had way more excuses than anybody else not to do it. But I also had a dream and a vision to take care of my family and be a good provider and to build something. And, you know, by God's grace, I was able to do that.
These are the stories of ordinary people who live extraordinary lives. Lives of abundance, lives of service to others, and lives of personal fulfillment. They've found their passport to freedom through For Life research. And you can too.
You know, the life you lead is really a product of all the choices you have made over the past 5, 10, maybe even 20 years. But the future, that's a blank page. And what's written on it is entirely up to you.